Hey everyone, my name's Ben. I'm lead educator at Lumen Swap and I'm the founder of Bullring Crypto. In this video, I intend to take quite a complex topic and make it understandable. Yeah, that's my goal. So you'll have to let me know in the comments with some likes, right, with some shares, etc., and some subscribes, of course, whether that is indeed the case. I will judge my success on those things. So if you like this and it makes sense, do those things, and if you think it's a right pile of dog turd, don't do those things, okay? I'm going to first of all say this is not financial advice. I'm a passionate crypto student. I've been in the space for about 4.5 years, and I've had some absolutely horrendous crashes and decisions that I've made. I've also had some pretty cool stuff that's happened to me as well. I've extracted lessons out of the good and the bad, and I've got wise to a few things. That wisdom hopefully is going to be passed over to you for you to go off and to use it as your trigger to do your own research, your due diligence, and see whether it's something you want to get involved in. Now, before we delve into the automated market makers, we must understand we are going up, plus on the risk scale. This isn't just about buying and hodling a crypto asset. This comes with all sorts of risk, smart contract risk, team risk, platform risk, rugs. It comes with the risk of impermanent loss. There's so many things, but I'm going to do videos on all of those as well so that you know what you're looking out for. Okay. I also need you to understand that this is how it could work. Yeah, I have not been given any kind of guarantee. This is how it is working. This is just to get your cogs ticking, to make you think, okay, this is potentially how it could work. And it may also enable you to make a decision on how you strategize the next few weeks. It's only around about 2.5 weeks now before the vote on the automated market makers is done by the validators on the Stellar network. Because everything's already been built, we're eagerly anticipating that when the vote is done, the automated market makers are going to go live, meaning it's going to be switched on. We're going to get access to this on the Stellar network. We're hopefully going to see that happen early part of November, but it's not guaranteed. So everything you're hearing here is all my opinion and perspective. It's not guaranteed. Same as with Lumen Swap, I'm not speaking from the dev team, I'm speaking from the community team. We are speculative at best, okay? So just take all of it with a pinch of salt. Let's first of all try and break down what automated market makers are in easy to understand language. Okay, let me put it like this. There are usually, if we go to a centralized exchange or we go to an exchange of any kind, we will have some form of buy orders and some form of sell orders. And the price of the asset is matched between the two. Yeah, the amount of sell orders, if loads of sell orders come in, then the price gets pushed down because it buys up all of the, if they're, lower, so if they keep selling lower price, it will push the price of the asset down. If lots of buy orders come in and they keep gobbling up the sell orders, it will appreciate the value. So let's just try and understand the basics of the price of an asset. Yeah, based on the fluctuating buy and sell orders, the amount of orders that are coming in, how many tokens, how many coins are being sold at different prices. Okay, so this is us crypto fans putting in our buy and sell orders on these exchanges, yeah, leaving them there sometimes in the stop loss format, limit orders, you get it, but it is us placing those orders. Now, we've moved into an era over the last few years where we're doing that. There's a lot of bot trading, so you'll see a lot of bots, but I'm not going to come into that with this video. So it's not just necessarily us, it might be that we've programmed a bot to behave in a certain way according to a certain price, but it's still buy and sell matching, yeah, buy and sell matching, so that's dictating to the price. Okay, now we move into, or I say now, over the last couple of years, we move into this new era of automated market makers. And the reason for this is networks such as Stellar has had this challenge for a long time, and the challenge is that it's got this amazingly good decentralized exchange built in at base protocol level. So we can go to any access points and we can swap any assets that are built on Stellar, yeah? But there's a problem with liquidity. There's a problem in what's called the spread. So the buy might be selling for 1 cent and the sell selling for 8 cents, and there's nothing in the middle, right? There's no liquidity in there. And it's really problematic in getting trades away so that people can't, swap or exchange assets that they want to exchange for the price they want to exchange, because there's no liquidity. There's no significant volume of trading in that specific pair. Now, to get around this, what's been kind of developed over the last few years is a system where it's an algorithmic or a smart code, an equation, a mathematical equation. And I don't want you to go, oh my God, the last time I did maths, I was like 13 and I didn't understand any algebra then. Don't worry, we're not worrying about that crap. What we're worrying about is how the process works. So rather than us putting in an order, what we do is myself and you and all of the crypto fans out there that love DeFi, can give our crypto assets into this smart contract, which then rewards us for doing so. So it's like, imagine it's like a funny sort of bank where we go, here you go, you can have our crypto assets, and on the other side of that, they will give us a yield. It's called yield farming sometimes, a yield for providing that liquidity. When we provide the liquidity into this smart contract, also known as a type of bank, a weird one, but a type of bank, what happens then, other people can trade and swap our assets that we've provided. Yeah, so we don't have any say when it's in the smart contract. People are buying and selling, right, our assets. So it immediately provides that liquidity, doesn't it? Because rather than having that spread and that massive gap, all of a sudden we're going, okay, you can have $1,000 of XLM, $1,000 of LSP, and now we have provided that pool, liquidity pool, with $2,000, agreed? So people can now transact XLM, LSP, backwards and forwards, using our assets. The smart contract then says, thank you very much, Ben. Here you go. Here are some of the fees we're going to charge these people for swapping. I'll come on to that in a minute. But I hope that kind of is like lesson number one. That's how it works in a very, very layman's term. We, as crypto fans, provide our crypto assets into a centralized pot, and then we or anyone else can go to that pot and they can transact those assets. They can buy one, they can swap theirs, they can do all sorts of different things. Yeah, and what happens is, it's a little bit more complex as you go further down the line, but certain pathways or routes are found between different assets by the computer code, right? So it will go, okay, you want to swap Doggit for LSP, which is the way that we go through, and it will go maybe LSP, it will go to XLM, because that's one pair. Then it will go XLM to XLMG, that will be pair two. And then it will go XLMG to Doggit, right? So it will automatically find the best price, path or route from one asset to another. It doesn't need you to go, okay, I need to swap from one to the other, now I need to take that one and now I need to do that one and that one. It just will allow you to do that by finding the best path. And sometimes you can switch paths, switch assets, and it can find a very, very different price for you. If there isn't the liquidity, it will say sometimes insufficient liquidity for you to be able to swap those two. So you might have to go through a different asset, and then all of a sudden there's the liquidity there because many people have put in their assets into that pair. The way it normally works, so that you understand, is it's a 50-50 split. This is the traditional sense. So you put in 50% in dollar value of one asset and 50% of dollar value in asset number two. So let's use, for the whole purpose of this, XLM coin, native coin on the Stellar network, and LSP, native asset token on the Lumen Swap, or for the Lumen Swap ecosystem. These two that we're going to pair together. right? So we're going to give $1,000 of this one and $1,000 of this one into the pool. Joe next to me does $1,000 of this one and $1,000 of this one. So I put in $2,000, agreed? $1,000 each side. Joe puts in $1,000. So the first person that puts in, we have now $2,000 of TVL, which is total value locked. I've put in $1,000 of XLM, $1,000 of LSP, which is combined together, and we make a liquidity pool token. Yeah, so we make a third-party token. So we take our token out of our wallet, this one in our wallet, so we make sure that we've got $1,000 of each in our wallet. We go into, and I'll show you an example in a minute, we go into either like a pool, or it will say pool, or farm, or something along those lines, and we then add liquidity, which is a little plus sign, one and the other, 1,000 of each. I put that in, total value locked of that liquidity pool is $2,000. Joe puts his 2,000 in as well, total liquidity, or TVL, sorry, in that pool then is $4,000, okay? Does this make sense? Yeah, so it's nice and simple to start with, so that we just go, okay, up and up and up and up. Now, what happens is, the smart contract, yeah, or the computer code, whatever you want to use, whatever words work for you, then says, hey, Ben's just put in $2,000. Yeah, we must reward him some of the fees, the 0.3% fees that we are charging for each transaction that's made between those two pairs. We must reward Ben some of the 0.3%. So if there's $1 million traded there, right, then we must reward Ben 0.3%, yeah, of that $1 million that's traded. Of course, $1 million not going to be traded on just $2,000 in liquidity, but you get the idea. I'm giving you an example. So those fees that would be collected on the $1 million worth of volume, the $1 million worth of trade backwards and forwards between XLM and LSP, that would be scraped off, and that would be distributed amongst all the people providing the liquidity, myself and Joe. Yeah, makes sense so far. Good. Right. So now you have this ability to provide your crypto assets and to get a yield called yield farming, yeah, or liquidity pool providing, right? There's lots of different terms to this, but essentially it's very, very simple. You will combine a combination of two assets to make a third liquidity pool token, put that liquidity pool token into the liquidity pool, and then you will be rewarded with some fees from that pool. And you can then make a yield on your crypto. And before it wasn't possible, was it? Because before, I know back in 2017, when I was in crypto, it was like, well, I want to buy 1, 2, 3 crypto assets, Bitcoin and ETH and whatever else. And there was a few staking options around, but generally speaking, it was a case of we just hodl or we trade. We, sell high and buy low, or we hodl and hope that they go 100x over the next year. Yeah, that was our options. Now we can have the asset and we can get a yield on it in this farming system. So what it's farming, we're growing and we're harvesting. You get the idea. You've probably heard these terminologies. But some people haven't. Some people on the Stellar network have not heard of anything because they're Stellar maxis and they've never been on Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, Polygon. They've never been over there. So they don't know that this whole world exists. It's like, what's AMM? It's like, what the hell is this? Okay, so with that being said, let's have a look at some popular ones and let's have a look at some similarities between these popular ones. Here we go. So famous automated market makers. You've got the most famous of all, which is Uniswap, right at the bottom here, which is just underneath the picture of me. Handsome, aren't I? Okay, so you've got this one, you've got QuickSwap, you've got PancakeSwap, and you've got Trader Joe. Just 4 that I've picked. There's many others. Yeah, 3 of these have multi-billions of dollars of TVL. Remember, I said myself and Joe putting our money into these, or our crypto into these liquidity pools, right? That starts the TVL. Then Dave, Daisy, Rani, and all them start putting their money in as well, and the TVL starts going up and up and up and up and up. And these have got multi-billions, apart from QuickSwap, which I think is hundreds of millions now, but multi-billions the others. And what generally happens is, over a period of time, as they pick up traction, they get more successful. These ones, not the smaller ones, we'll come on to them, but these ones, their token also will gain in value. And the reason for this, guys, and this is another thing that confuses a lot of people, is to come into these liquidity pools, you need those assets, don't you? You need to be providing those assets. So let's use our Lumen Swap or LSP and our XLM again. Yeah, you need to come in and you need to be hodling both of them. Now, a lot of people are going to go, wow, I'm in Stellar and I don't have any LSP to put into this new pool. I need to buy some. What happens to the price? Buy pressure kicks in. You start to see this incremental increase, sometimes sharp, but incremental increase in the native asset. So you start to see this climb. Initially, you start to see this climb up of price because people are buying. The buy pressure's there. People are wanting to get in on this return from the fees, yeah, from using the liquid, from providing their assets in the liquidity pool. Right. Now that you've done that and you're getting your fees, of course, the higher the liquidity, the total volume locked in the liquidity pool is. So when I say the higher the total, I mean that we've got Dave and Daisy and Rani and Joe and myself all providing our, 10,000 here, 100,000 there, 1,000, 1,000, whatever. As this is climbing up, of course, the fees are getting spread out across more people, aren't they? More people are starting to trade that pair, but the fees are getting spread out across more people. So your actual return is dropping. And then people will say, well, it's not really worthwhile me being in that. But then they'll weigh it up against a traditional return and think, can I get that sort of return in my bank? And then go, no. But the only time, emphasized second time, do you get that? That your initial investment will be worth what you put in is second one when you put it in. As the tokens that you are putting in, and we'll come on to stablecoins in a minute, as the tokens appreciate and depreciate in value over time, so does your stake. So does your liquidity pool value that you've put in. If LSP moons and XLM drops on its ass, yeah, then your initial 1,000 of each is not going to be 1,000 of each, is it? You think one's going to be higher, but one's going to be lower. But as this one's being sold, it's sucking out from the other side. So don't think you're going to be getting one side's going to be all good and roses and the other side's going to be bad, because as people are selling out that, this side of your liquidity pool is buying them in to build that equilibrium that I spoke about, remember? So it's buying them, so you're getting a load of worthless tokens and selling out the good ones. This is inherently risky, and that's called impermanent loss. I'll do a video on that, right? That's dangerous. So ideally, you want two stable prices, and that's why a lot of people go into stable coin liquidity providing, because unless there's a massive monumental economic crash across the globe or USDT gets audited properly, just kidding, but like, I really don't like those paper collateralized stable coins. I think that they're vulnerable. Unless there's, or maybe a stable coin goes off peg if it's algorithmic, such as UST. If those are stable coins, generally speaking, you're going to get a stable return. Okay, you're going to get a stable return. If they are volatile assets, XLM, LSP, any other asset that goes up and down in value, then your pool is going to go up and down in value. So what could happen, and has happened to me many times, is you go into a liquidity pool and it's worth $1,000 or more or less, whatever. And then after 3 weeks or something, it's worth $50. And you go like, what has gone on here? Because one of the tokens has dumped in value and impermanent loss has happened and you've ended up with $50 off your 1,000 you put in. That's how risky it is. However, what's also happened to me is £5,000 or £10,000 overnight, like that. Because what's happened is the token that we're coming in with has started to moon in value, hard moon, pulling like a 50x in a day. So you buy at a really cheap price, it pulls a 50x in a day, and of course this other price has stayed stable, and you're like, wow, I've come in with X, and of course it's rewarding you constantly, so you're getting rewarded in the token that's mooning, and whew, you're like, you're coughing out the, you've seen the memes and that, haven't you? It's like coughing out the cash, right? Like a brrr, cash machine. But both can happen in equal parts. So be as aware that this can happen where you're left with nothing, as much as this can happen where you can make serious gains. We don't know what the future of crypto holds. Okay, well, I need you to understand that. So some people go for the stable coins, pairings, to get their little bit of return, and other people are apes and degens, and they just go, let's go for it. Let's put 10 grand in. If I lose, I lose. Risk tolerance, risk appetite is all part and parcel of this, and strategy, which I will be going through with you as the weeks go on. I will be giving you a range of different options, depending on your risk appetites. Okay, so it's pretty exciting, right? It's making my spine tingle even talking about it. I love it. Yeah, I'm a DeFi farmer in my heart. Yeah, every pump is like a do it, do it, do it, do it. Yeah, so I'm super excited about what's coming. Okay, each one of these then is going to provide us a fee. Yeah, a fee for using or for providing that liquidity. That's the number one way we are going to get rewarded. And on Stellar, it's going to be 0.3%. I want to just give you a comparison now so that you can see. Let's have a look at, this is QuickSwap, an automated market maker on Polygon, one of the ones that I've just given you as an example. You can see here, right, that I am going to be looking at swapping, just an example, just an example, Aave and Baby Quick. This is some kind of meme thing, I think, an Aave, a lending platform. So I'm going to swap one of them for these Baby Quicks. And here I've opened up the two things that I've spoke to you about already, pathways or routes, and the fee that we're provided with. So the liquidity provider fee, the question mark, if I just hover over that for a second, is 0.3%, the same as that is going to be built in to the Stellar network, 0.3%, right? It's the same. So this is now taking 0.3% off that trade for us. So if we're trading $1,000, it's taking like $3, I think that's correct. $3 off us. It just to make that trade, right? It's taking $3 off us because we're using the AMM. We're not using the traditional market. Now, we're also going to have to sometimes pair slippage. There's going to be a slippage in the price, and that's what I was talking to you about, that spread. Remember the spread? It might be a little bit of slippage. Sometimes tokens have slippage built in. So you might have to put 6 or 8% in on some networks to get those to go through, maybe sometimes more. But I won't get into that either, because that's a whole separate conversation. But you will see here, this question mark is going to be the same as you're going to get on Stellar. Then this 0.3% distributed. Dave, Daisy, Rani, Joe and myself, all providing liquidity. We're all going to get a share of the trades that are done between that pair, the LSP, the XLM. It's going to kick back to us, and we are going to share out the trading fees for that day. That's how you get your revenue. Okay, so I've gone over that twice. I hope that that's kind of sunk in. If it hasn't, ask questions underneath, or come to the Lumen Swap community TG, ask your questions there, and I'll be pleased to help you. Just tag me, Educator Ben. Right, here's the route, and you can see it's not a direct route because there's no one really providing any liquidity pools between Aave and Baby Quick. So it's going through its own route. You can see that it's going Aave to ETH. ETH is going to ETH and then Wrapped-matic, and then Wrapped-matic to Baby Quick. So this would be one pair. This would be a pair, and this would be a pair, and the smart contract would find that route, yeah, through. You don't have to worry about it. It's just going to do it for you automatically. It's going to find the best price, boom, swap. That's it. And it's so cool. It's so easy to use. So it might be the fact that you're providing liquidity here, this trade is coming through, you're going to get a kickback of the fees because it's using the liquidity you're providing, maybe on ETH and Wrapped-Matic. Yeah, this pair here that you're providing for, you're going to get a kickback as well. Okay, with that being said, everything's all clear, I hope, so far. Yeah, like I said, it's complex, it's complex. Let's go back. Now you can see this one here, this fee is going to take off us, right? So it tells you what it is. And then the price impact is telling you how much it's going to move the price one way or another when you complete this trade. So it's 1.83, right, of a price impact. Moving swiftly on. We're back to our famous automated market makers and liquidity pools and swaps. Yeah, these are the famous ones. Some of these are inherently buggered, I will say, and I'll tell you the reason why. They are built on networks that aren't made for them. They're kind of like shoehorned in. Come on, we can make this work. And one of these is, of course, Ethereum. It is so expensive for new people to use that network. It's ridiculous in terms of gas. You don't want to be doing 100 F transactions a day on your farming. It's sluggish as hell, right? It really is sluggish. It takes sometimes more than an hour, and then your transaction fails. Anyone used it? Anyone know what I mean? Put a comment underneath, yeah? High five to you. You've experienced it. I've paid over $300 in gas, but only because, you know, I've wanted to transact in 5 figures plus, and I've had to do it because I wanted to sell them assets at that price. But $300 plus in gas, I mean, it's impossible for us to comprehend on Stellar, where it's 0 or thereabouts. And another thing, so we've got the sluggishness of Ethereum, we've got the expense of Ethereum, but it's still got a 14 billion market cap, Uniswap at time of recording. 14 billion. Jeez. You know, so it's lots of people want to use it, right? And love it, because it wouldn't have such a huge dominant market share if people were thinking, oh, I'm going to do it because it's the fastest or the cheapest. They would never go near it. They would never go near it. Then we've got these others that have come in and kind of said, we're going to beat you to Uniswap. We're going to come in, we're going to be faster, we're going to be cheaper. And they have seen this tsunami of people come in. Like I said, if you use DeFi Llama as your DeFi yardstick of how many people are in DeFi and how much crypto is in DeFi, it's hit an all-time high again today. 220 billion TVL, so total value locked in all of DeFi. You know, all of the Joes, all of the Bens, all of the Daisies and Daves and Ranis, all of them, right, across the whole of crypto, nearly 220 billion total value locked in all of the pools and staking and all of the other cool stuff. Right, so that's a lot, and that just keeps climbing. Right, so these are just some of those others. And the other thing that's problematic with them is that they connect with something called a custom RPC. They're all using EVM, which is Ethereum Virtual Machine, which is a way that these can connect, yeah, to use the same address as an ETH address, yeah, and sit on top and connect with the EVM. So, but then you have to have almost like let me try and break it down so it's easy to understand. Let's just say an API. The API is like calling the network and there's a gap, yeah? So it's calling and it's trying to transact with the network, and you sometimes get real bad laggy, failed transactions, pending, spinning, because you're trying to connect a MetaMask custom RPC with the network. And then if that gets really busy, that custom RPC, then you have to go and think, right, can I get another custom RPC? So basically another API to connect with the network that's not as busy. And you can just you have to just keep doing this kind of like recalibrating the network with different pieces of software, essentially. Ball ache, an absolute nightmare. Yeah, a nightmare. We don't want to have that lag. We don't want to have those failed transactions, the pending transactions going on for ages. But these were the flagship solutions to this horrible beast that is Uniswap, right? In terms of gas, and you know, it's obviously a market leader, isn't it, in some aspects? But in terms of speed, in terms of gas, it's a horrible beast. It needs putting down. These came along and said, we're going to offer the solution, and of course, they do to a degree. You know, you can have 25-cent or 10-cent or 15-cent or whatever transactions on Binance Smart Chain. Whoa, against that, it's like heaven. Yeah, 25 cents against your $90 or $300. PancakeSwap did that, didn't it, to Uniswap. That's still expensive. If you're doing 20 DeFi transactions a day, or 10 a day, let's just say 10 a day at 25 cents, you get the idea, it's $2.50. Yeah, it's $2.50 over the space of a week. You don't want to be giving your crypto away. You don't want to be giving your crypto away like that. Some people say it's only 25 cents, but that's a lot to some people if you're doing a lot of transactions. Step up, Stellar. Built, battle tested for multiples of millions of operations at 100 streeps an operation, which is, I think, 5 decimal places after the dot, and then 1. Maybe it's 4. I think it might be 4, then 1. But either way, it's about 10,000th of an XLM, which is about 35 cents today. 10,000th of that in gas, right? And it's battle tested to do 5-8 million operations per day on the network, no lag. And the automated market makers built in at protocol level. It's not one of these protocols built on top of the network trying to do the API link through. It's built into it. So when people say, how is it going to be so freaking amazing? It's because we're not built on top of it, it's built into it. And then there's going to be access points where you can stake, you can provide, let me use the right language, you can provide liquidity, and Lumenswap's going to be one where you can provide liquidity for certain pairs, and you can collect these network fees from the people transacting with the automated market maker. Cool AF, right? Okay, are we amped? Yeah. Are we fired up? I'm fired up. Come on, let's just warm up. Let's do some sparring or something. Okay, joking aside, moving on. You've now got the, let's say, the grounding, the foundations. How could it work with Lumen Swap? This is the juice that you want out of the orange, right? This is what you want me to squeeze for you. Currently, we have a trading reward. 100 people who trade 10,001 XLM and LSP per month between the 1st and the 28th. If they trade those, yeah, buy and sells, add up to 10,001 LSP. You can be in the draw to win 12,500 LSP tokens. Now, you can win this, and I think it's pretty cack, if I'm honest. You know, if I was in the top tier team, which I'm not, I would have said, let's avoid this one. Right, because I just think that all it does is just encourages someone to go buy 10,000 LSP, sell 10,000, and of course it gives some volume, doesn't it, to that pair? But it's like, well, they've just sold it back out again for their XLM and gone off to Binance and sold it for USDT and gone merrily on their way. What does it bring to the table? So for 3 months, I've not been the biggest advocate, and I've won the bugger. I've won it twice. So you'd think, well, if he's won it and he's got this, and like, you know, it's been worth thousands of dollars to me. I hate it because I am a lover. As much as my heart beats for farming, the My lungs fill for Lumenswap, right? So they work in combination. And I don't like that. I want it got rid of. And thankfully, I think it might be happening soon. So this trading reward at the minute is just rewarding people for swapping their LSP for XLM. Great if you're going to hodl the LSP. CAC if you're not. So we have this monthly trading reward, and I think that that's going to be switched, bearing in mind how it could underlined work. I think it's going to be switched for automated market maker reward. And like I said, this isn't guaranteed. Please don't go running off. Vlad, Ben said. It's just nonsense. It's all hearsay. It's just my interpretation. I think we're going to see a single LSP incentivized liquidity pool. I don't think there's going to be dozens and dozens and dozens. I don't think there needs to be, right? Because you're already getting the network fees of 0.3%. So you can put your SLT and your SHX in and you can get from the network, you can get a reward. It doesn't make any difference. I'm thinking Lumenswap are going to reward the big dogs. I think Lumenswap are going to reward them people coming in and they're going to stick with what it says in the documents and they are going to reward the trading or liquidity providing of that beautiful pair. The top pair for me in the whole of the Stellar network. XLM, LSP. No question about it. Flagships. Let's go back. These are all flagships. Flagships. King Henry VIII and all that, you did your history, the ship at the front, the shiny one, the best one, the one with the most cannons. That was the flagship. Flagship on Avalanche, Trader Joe, flagship on QuickSwap, Polygon, flagship on Ethereum, Uniswap, flagship on Binance Smart Chain, PancakeSwap, flagship on Stellar, Lumenswap. Done deal, already, in the bag. No one is going to outpunch us. We are like the Gypsy King. Anyone see that at the weekend? The Gypsy King dropped the best fighter in the States. Bosh up. He got dropped himself, but he come up and knocked him out. For the third time. Not for the first time. So, we are the big dog on the Stellar network in terms of the automated market maker, the bridge, the lending client, the swap, the spot, the whole thing, yeah, Lumen Swap. It's got the name, it's got the branding, it's got the team, it's the big dog. So a farmer needs to provide 50-50. I said this, 1,000 and 1,000, right? 1,000 and 1,000. So 1,000 LSP and 1,000 XLM in value to enter the LP, the liquidity pool. Okay, you're starting to understand the language now. The reward of 1.25 million will be divided into a daily reward. And I've divided it up here using a 30-day month. This 30-day month would work out at 41,666 tokens. LSP tokens. So this is a total liquidity pool reward per day. This is not your 0.3%. Okay, this is not the 0.3 network fees that you can get on any pair of assets. I've just covered that, right? But I need to reiterate, this is now Lumenswap incentivizing with a 10-year incentive. 10 years, yes, the same as the hodlers. If you haven't seen the hodler video, go and watch my hodler video that I did just a couple of days ago. You need to watch it now because you need to see potential. Yeah, it's the Moon Boy version. You need to see the potential. So this one here is the 0.3 is the bottom one I've put in because it's just there. You can make some gains, right, with just providing liquidity in any pair because it's built in, remember, protocol level. But this one is Lumenswap saying, come to us, we're the big dog. We're going to give you some special LSP tokens for using this pair. Again, all hearsay, not guaranteed. So now we're doing the maths. Stick with me. By this time, it's, what are we in, 39 minutes? Jesus. By this time, you're like, get this English guy out of here. Bring on the Americans. Hey, man, how's everyone hanging? Right. Day 1, minute 1 of the automated market maker. Yeah, day 1, minute 1, the first time that they go live and press the button. The TVL is going to be 0. Would you agree? There's no total value locked. No one's even entered it. Yeah, day 1, minute 1. So we've got a daily reward that we know, which is 41,666 LSP. Day one complete, by the time that day one complete, the FOMO is kicking in. Yeah, everyone that's bouncing around in the Lumen Swap community, Telegram, on the Twitter and everything saying, go, 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 it's live. So let's just say we've got up to 200,000, probably modest that. It's probably going to be way, way more. But that's 200,000. So Dave, Daisy, Rani, Joe, me, we're all pouring in our assets into this, thinking, we want to get to on LSP. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Right. So this is then divided over the first day. This 41,000 is divided into the $200,000 that have been provided by us gang, right? By all of us. So we get the 0.3% plus this 0.208 LSP per dollar staked, because we've just divided that into that. That's what the maths is. Yeah, check it. So if your investment is worth 10K at the start, so 5,000 on each side, 5,000, 5,000. Put together, LP token created, put LP token into the pool. Yeah, that LP token says, Ben has $10,000. Ben has $10,000. Reward him. Yep, so it rewards me. So this is rewarding me now on this liquidity pool. Your reward would be 2,000, because it's 10,000, right? So it's 1/20th. Yeah, 1/20th of this is 2,080 LSP on that first day. Straight out of the gates. Straight out of the gates. 2,000 LSP. Thank you very much. Bosha, into your pocket. So let's say that 100,000 was transacted in that AMM with a fee of 0.3%. So we've got this 200,000 here, and then we've also got the people that are buying and selling using the AMM. Yep, we've got this people, and it's taken the 0.3% off everyone's trade. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It gathers that all together, and its total is $300 in fees in that pool in one day. So these fees will be split across Dave, Daisy, Rani, I'm just about remembering the names, Joe and myself. Yeah, so it would be split across all of us. Happy days. We would get 1/20th, because we'd have a 1/20th stake, 200,000 in, we would have 10,000. We would make 15 bucks of that 300. Now's the time, because of the energy, because of the passion I'm putting into this, now's the time. Hit subscribe, hit me a comment down there. Let me just wait until you do. No, but serious note, if you're enjoying it, give me a comment, give me a like, give me a subscribe, because there's a lot of effort that goes into these, and it'd be nice to see that effort rewarded with a little bit of interaction, engagement. So let's do the maths, or the math. Let's do the math. Our stake is 10,000. We're returning 2,080 LSP at 20 cents. Yeah, so if we return this and it's at 20 cents return, it's going to be a $416 return, or a 4.16% return. Yeah, on that $10,000, if everything stays the same, which is not going to, right? But if everything stayed the same, it'd be $416 or 4.16% on 10,000 that first day. The early birds. If it went up, because remember what I said, people are like, oh my God, LSP, run, let's go. Right, let's get to Lumenswap quick. And then let's put our crypto assets into Lumenswap. We need to get in early. And I would say to everyone, get in early. Get in very early, because you're going to see what happens if you don't. So let's say they start buying LSP, buy. Price starts pumping. So then our 10,000 stake, if our return goes up to 40 cents, $832. If it goes up to 60 cents, $1,248. If it goes up to 80 cents, which I've seen all of this, I'm not giving you fake figures, I've seen all of this and more happen. I've seen one that I was involved in, it was $3 when I bought in, it went to $155. And I know there's people out there that follow me on my private group. I know there's people out there that will clarify that. If you're one of them, clarify it underneath. $3, $155. Imagine. So your stake is sailing up in value, and your reward is sailing up in value. I bought this very iMac with one night farming. One of my first nights farming. I was like, what have I just earned? Click, buy the iMac. Yeah, truth. Okay, so we've got this, which potentially could happen, and then we've got plus our $15, right, in network fees, the 0.3s. Okay, now, 30-day math. Remember, that was first day math. This is going to teach you speed is important. Now we've got a total value locked of 5 million. Yeah, I think it's going to be possibly way bigger than that, but we're just going to use 5 million. The daily reward is staying the same because the 1.25 million tokens that are monthly tokens attributed to automated market makers from Lumen Swap, if they go into one pool, are going to stay constant for 10 years. Constant. Poof, poof, poof. That will stay the same. That will stay the same. This will vary, yeah, the amount of total value locked, but this will stay the same. So we've got this now into 5 million. Look at the difference. 0.0083. Last time we just looked, if we just skip back, it was 0.2. We have now gone to 0.0083, lot less return per dollar, right? So if your investment is worth 10,000 then, still after 30 days, your reward would be 83 LSP on that 30th day. Now, you might go, that's CAC, there's no point in being involved. I want the 2,000 LSP, not the 83. It's all relative on token price, I will tell you that. Right? It doesn't matter the volume of the LSP, it matters the price of the LSP. Plus, let's say 3 million was transacted now. People are really getting horny for LSP at this point. Yeah, 3 million was transacted in that automated market maker liquidity pool with a fee of 0.3%. That is, yeah, $9,000. So $9,000 in network fees would also be split across all of the providers. So we would get 18 bucks of that 9,000. So we get a little bit more actually than we did at the start, right? But we get 18 bucks. It's because it's such a large volume of trade that's been done. Finally, let's have a look at the returns. So the 83 LSP at 20 cents would be 1660. You get 1660 if it's around about the current price it is now. 1660. 0.16%. Where can you get that in a bank? Tell me. 0.16 a day, 10 days is 1.6% in 10 days. You can't get that, yeah, and that's a very reasonable. When it comes to liquidity providing, this is nothing really. I've seen 11, 15, 18% in a day when certain pools open. Of course, they all come with risk. Yeah, they all come with risk, and it depends on the token emission rates and all sorts of things I'm going to teach you about. But you know, I've seen it with my own eyes. I have capitalized on it, yeah? And I've also lost, as I said. So 83 at 40 cents would be 0.332. 83 at 60 cents would be 49 bucks at 0.49, so half of 1%. And if we went to 80 cents, then your return would be this. Plus 18 in XLM network fees. So we would be looking here at around about 66. So we'd be looking at 70, so $84, something like that. So that'd be 0.84% on the top one, 0.84, so nearly 1% in a day, still after 30 days if the price went up. So now, the final part of the puzzle. When we are buying, we don't want to be buying our stake at a high price. If we are providing our, where are we? Let's go back to the right one. If we are providing our 5K of both, we want to provide our 5K of both while the price is low, do we not? Because we also want our 10K to be appreciating in value. We want to buy as low price as we can our assets we're putting into the liquidity pool. Then when they kick in and the FOMO starts and people start buying, our pot starts climbing in value. It's not going to climb in value the same way as it would climb in value if you held those assets, single assets, natively in a Stellar wallet. If they mooned, you could just go, hurrah, I've got them. And that's an option for you. You could just hodl them. But if you're putting them in, you want to be buying those liquidity tokens that you're going to be putting in at the earliest op. Now, we don't know what pair it's going to be. However, However, I would think LSP is going to play a pivotal role in Lumenswap's liquidity providing. Would you not? I don't know what's going to be on the other side, but I would say if you've got a fat stack of LSP, you're going to be pretty squared away with Lumenswap, would you not? It's a bit like going back to our famous ones. If you've got Uni here, if you've got Joe here, if you've got Cake here, if you've got Quick there, you're going to be squared, right? You're going to be quids in. So we want to be thinking to ourselves, when is the time to be getting these? It's now. It's not waiting, because the more people watch this, the more people that become aware of Lumenswap and Stellar, automated market makers, the more people are going to go, I think there's something in this, I'm going to buy something, buy pressure. No one's going to be thinking, I'll tell you what, I'm selling. This is crap. No one's going to be saying that for the foreseeable future. People are going to be buy. What does it do to the price? Appreciates. So when you come to buy your position's going to cost you more. Your 10,000 position is going to be nearer the time. It's going to be worth 30k from today, 40 maybe, depending on these hidden features we're going to see. If they pop off the hidden features and they pop the price up, which I'm anticipating, you're going to be paying God knows how much to get into a liquidity pool position with Lumenswap. I'm out of words. I'm out of actions. I'm out of craziness. If this hasn't fired you up with what's coming down the path, then I'm going to retire. In fact, put underneath in the comments, retire, dude. Retire. I'm super fired up about this, and I have tried to be as open as I can with you. There's the pitfalls and there's the good stuff. There's risk and there's profit. It's a beautiful, I love it because I've got this, I would jump off cliffs with a parachute attached to me, like kind of risk. I'm happy with that. Some people are like, they want to sit in their library, and that's about the level of risk they want to do. So we all come on a different spectrum. We've all got to decide, where we are with putting our crypto assets in. But this can be a really positive thing for Stellar, because that problem that's been around for so long with the lack of liquidity is going to change in a very short space of time. And the more people that get used to this almost free, super fast, scalable as hell, they're going to say, I'm not using that Ethereum unicorn anymore, I'm over here. When we set up the bridges and bring the liquidity in from the big DeFi chains, Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum, we're going to be getting people galloping across into Stellar. Those prices are going to be reflecting that. We're in for a real beautiful winter. A beautiful winter. But of course, it's all speculation, and I might be completely wrong. Yeah, it's up for you to do your due diligence now and share all of these other AMMs, or videos that you found underneath. Let me watch them. What are they saying about it? All of these other gateways into this protocol level liquidity pools that Stellar are doing. What are the other YouTubers saying about it? Yeah, go and find them videos. You watch them as well, and I bet you everyone is saying the same thing, which is it's going to be an exciting period of time for Stellar and Lumenswap. You need to be on board the rocket. Thanks, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Look forward to joining you again in my next video. All the best. Have a great day.